Hi guys, welcome back to another tutorial. My name is Ajulam. Thank you so much for joining me. If you're new to my channel, you're welcome. Consider subscribing and don't forget to turn on the bell icon so that you get to know anytime I post new videos. So today I'm going to show us the simplest way of making a pleated dress using the slash and spread method. So if you're interested, let's get started. Now, to make a pleated dress, like I just said, you'll be needing your bodice pattern. We're going to alter the bodice pattern and we're going to be creating an overlapping effect on the front side. You know, this is going to be an off the shoulder. We're going to make it exactly as it is on the thumbnail. So this is going to have an off the shoulder. The front is going to be an overlapping, but the back is going to be plain as it is. And then on the sleeve, we're going to be attaching it little roses using our fabric. I'll also show us how to do all this one at a time. So here I have my bodice pattern, and I believe by now you already know how to draft a basic bodice pattern. So I have mine here, and this particular one I have here, you can see that the sleeve is already attached. This is how you go about making your bodice pattern, the off the shoulder pattern together with the sleeve. I have a detailed video on how to draft 3 different kinds of off the shoulder bodice pattern. If you're the one you want the sleeve to be attached to it, or the one you want the sleeve to be together with the dress, I have a video on how to do that, so I'll not be repeating that. So if you want to know how I got to this point, all you need to do is to check out that video. That way you will know how I got to this point. You can see. So now the first thing I'm going to do is to cut off this front one. We're going to be starting with the front because the front is going to have an overlapping effect on that side, but the back is going to be plain. So for that, we'll start with the front. So I'll just cut this out now and cut out a full front. You know, this is just half. You can see this is half of it and this is half of the back. So for this, I'll cut this out exactly as it is, but it's going to be full front before we now determine the overlapping and the off the shoulder and the rest of it. And then on this sleeve side, we'll also alter it to create the circle. We're going to be using the circle method to create the roses that is going to sit exactly on this sleeve. So we'll just take it one at a time. Like I just said, I'll just cut this out, cut out the full one, and then we continue. So here you can see I just finished cutting the front side out. Like I said, this is one side and this is the full front. So this is what I'll be working with now. Now the first thing to do is to cut out the overlapping parts of this front side. So what I'm going to do now is to mark 2 inches upward from this side. You can decide whichever side you want to use. So I am using this right hand side. This is on my right hand. So I'm marking 2 inches from the waistline upward. I have 2 inches, and this pattern that I have here, the sewing allowance is already included. So after marking the 2 inches, now we're going to connect it, okay, to meet up to this our sleeve on this side. You see what I have there? Just take it straight from that angle up to this side. So after doing that, we're going to be cutting out this sleeve. Okay, you know, this one is already attached. We'll cut it off and join it with the back before we now place the circles or the flounce that is going to sit on this part. So I'll just go ahead and connect, and when you connect, make sure that you have 3 inches as the off the shoulder. You know, this is for a 2-year-old. We normally use 2.75 to 3.5 inches as the off the shoulder neckline, neck depth, sorry. Now you can see from this actual shoulder, now I have 3 inches. The 3 inches crosses this line, so make sure that you have it this way so that by the time you finish, you will not have it too open. All right, so this is what I have now. Go ahead and cut this off. So this part, we're going to be slashing it and then using it to create the pleat that is going to be on this side. So this side now is off. We are not going to be needing that side. So I'll just go ahead and cut this out, and then I'm going to slash. Okay, so this is the shape I have. You can see when you want to cut this, we're going to be cutting 2 pieces. The one that is going to overlap this other side, so it should be exactly like this one. All right, but before that, like I said earlier, I'll be cutting this part off. This is the sleeve. I'll use it again, but I'm going to show us how to do that as well. So I'll just keep it aside and finish working with this. So now all I'm going to do is to mark 1 inch following this line. I'll keep on marking 1 inch until I have like 5 lines, depending on how many pleats you want this side to have. Okay, so mine, I don't want it that much, so you can see I'm just marking the 1 inch that way until I finish what I have on this one. So after marking, I'll connect. This is the line that I'll be slashing now. Okay, and I have a lot of videos on how to, you know, use slash and spread method to make either ruffles or pleats. So I have so many videos on that. So I'll just continue marking 1 inch until I finish what I have on my paper. Alright, this is it after slashing them open. Then when you finish that, make sure to number them so that you don't make any mistake. So this is the other one. Remember I said it's going to be two pieces of that, so this is going to overlap, and I'll also slash using this same way and repeat the same thing for this second side, because the side, the both of the overlapping side is going to be pleated. So whatever I'm doing on this side, I'll also repeat it on this other side. So this is it after putting my numbers on them so that I will know which one is. So this is number 4 and the last one number 5. So I have 5 slashes here. Okay, so this is how it should be, and this is the one that will overlap it this other way. So the first thing I'm going to do now is to separate it. I'll be making it 2 inches distance from each of them. Okay, if you want you can use 1.5, but I'm using 2 inches because I'll be using the same fabric as the lining. Okay, as we proceed you understand better. You can see I am separating it now by 2 inches. So I'll just pin it there and repeat these other ones like that. I think this 2 inches is too much for me. Let me just make it 1.5 because this is for a little girl. So I'll just make it 1.5 and then I'll pin. Okay, just watch what I am doing, work with your own measurement, but then you follow the process. here you can see that I just finished folding them, and I decided to fold on my fabric. I didn't fold on another paper. I don't want to waste my paper. So now this is the plate. This is how I want it to be. So I'll take this other one to make sure that what I have here is accurate. So I'll just place it over this way to make sure that it matches. Okay, now that I have it, now this is exactly how it should be. So I'll go ahead now and cut it off. Using this one on top now, I'll just follow the shape and cut. But because I want to use this as my lining, before I cut, this is what I'm going to do. I will now open it up this way and take this one in, okay, because I want to use it as the lining as well. So I'll just take it in so that by the time I cut, I'll also have the same shape on this back side. Okay, so I'll just quickly arrange it and then place this one on top and cut, and then I'll repeat the same on the other side because the two sides is going to be pleated. So this is where we are so far. As you can see, I just finished sewing that. And if you want to make this particular, especially this front side, you really need to take your time, because if you rush this part, it's going to frustrate you. That's just the truth. So just take your time and make sure that you get it right using your pattern. So this is what I have. You can see I've joined the sleeve on this end, and then the next thing to do now is to cut out the back. So the back is very easy. That is why I will not be going into details for the back side, because it's very easy. So this is the back pattern, remember. So all I'm going to do is to cut it off from here. You can see this is where I want the off shoulder to come for the back, and it is 3.5 inches from this shoulder line. I use 3.5 inches for the back neck depth. All right, so I'll just go ahead and cut it just from here, and this is what I'll have for the back, and then just cut out your lining the same way and then close it up. It's very easy. And if you want to know more on how to sew and off the shoulder bodice, I have a lot of videos on that, so you can check them out so you can see how to do this part. So now I will now go ahead now for the important one, which is the flounce that is going to sit on this sleeve. Now you can see that my sleeve is not straight. Okay, so make sure that your own is a little slanted after sewing. This way it's going to sit tight on that shoulder area. If it's straight, by the time the child wears the dress, this part will be open, which is not good. So like I was saying, for the flounce now, all I'm going to do is to decide how wide or small I want the flounce to be. So for this is a little girl own, so I'll just make it 3.5. okay, so here is my satin, and it's already in 4 folds, same way you fold when you want to make a full circle pattern. So I'll just go ahead and mark from this edge. I'll just mark out 3.5, and then I'll be cutting out. I'll be using 1 inch here to cut off on these points. So I'll just quickly do that. It's very easy. And for this part, you also need your crinoline for this side so that the flounce will stand out well. So you need a 1 inch crinoline for this one now. So I'll just go ahead and cut this out, and I'll use the same satin as my lining. So whatever fabric you're using, make sure you're using it as the lining as well, because by the time you fold, the front and back will be visible. So you need to use the same so that you have a very clean work. So now this is my circle. Like I said, I'll just mark 1 inch from this point and cut it off, then double it. It is very easy. So let me just quickly cut this out. Right, after cutting it out, this is what I have. You can see I cut out 2 of it. So this is my full flay. So one is going to serve as the lining now. So you just need to open it up and then take the second one and place it over. Make sure that the front is facing each other. Okay, if you have any excess, you can just trim it off to make sure that you have it equal. All right, then after this now, I will just take my crinoline. Like I said, you'll be needing a 1 inch crinoline, you know, the smallest. If you have anyone smaller than this, you can also use it. So we're going to use it now and stitch it all the way around on this edge. Remember that the front is already facing each other, so this is the wrong side. So you just need to sew this all the way around. Just take it little by little and then stitch it all the way around, and then close it up nicely on both ends, and then I will turn it inside out and give it a good press. Now you don't need to open any part. It's going to be like this. So after turning that out, and then on this other side now, you're going to use your gather stitch to run it all the way around. so that by the time you gather it, it will give you what you want. So I'll just quickly do this part and then come back so we can finish up. So this is what I have, as you can see, after sewing it, and then you turn it inside out. Make sure to give this a very good press. And then this is what I have. I just use my gather stitch to gather it all the way around. You can see this, just gather it. So at this point, this is where you're going to play with this to give it the shape that you want yours to have. You can see I'm just holding it on this back side. You can just simply hold all the rough edges on this back side as it is with your needle. This part you're going to use your needle to tack it neatly. You will not be using your sewing machine. So you can see I am trying to use my hand just to give it a very nice shape. And remember that this is going to be on this sleeve. Okay, assuming I want to use this one, so it's going to sit like this. It's going to sit like this on this part. Okay, for this edge you can see I'll just need like 3 of these to complete this other side, because the back is already joined. So just 3 of these is okay. So like I said, you just play around with this part. If you don't want it that way, you can just simply place it. Now you can see what I'm doing. This is it. You just fold into 2 and fold it over again. You can see you can simply place it like this. If you don't want to stress yourself, just play around this part and then give it a very nice one. So that is just how to go about making these parts, and I believe it's very easy. Just take your time and you'll definitely get it right. So I'll just go ahead and join the rest of them with the back, and my dress is ready. So that is it for today. I believe you were able to grab 1 or 2 things from today's tutorial. I'll see you all in my next video.